Live. We are streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube. This is going to be awesome, you guys. I'm going to also record this so you guys can see it later. But, guys, here's the deal. I want to share something with you today that's going to blow your mind. Okay. I want you to do me a favor right now, though, out of the gate. If you're hanging out with me live right now, I want you to drop a massive live in the comments. You guys don't mind going over to the comments and drop live in the comments so I can see who's in the room. And if you're catching this on replay, drop a replay so I can come back and give you some love later. So guys, get comfortable. Close out your other 27 tabs on your browser, because I know you all have those too. And focus up, because guys, today's session is going to really shake up exactly how you operate online. And I'm going to start off with a really hard truth that's probably going to sting a little bit. And it's going to sting for a reason. And I'm going to have some slides up on the screen here. But here's the deal, guys. Here is the deal. Here's the thing. This might even bruise, okay? It might bruise your ego, but here, we're all adults here, right? You can drop me a 1 in the chat if you can handle a little tough love today, because that's what this is all about. I'm doing this for you, guys. I've been discovering some things that I think you're really going to want to know. So here's a reality check. If Facebook is not paying your bills, you're using it completely wrong. If it's not paying your bills, you're using it wrong. So let that sink in for a second. I don't know how many people where Facebook's actually paying their bills. So that almost applies to everybody listening. Most people, they log on to this platform, right? This Facebook, some every single day, and they treat it exactly like a giant digital ATM, like you see on the screen there. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You sit down, you punch in a post, you hit publish, and you just sit there waiting for the machine to dispense leads and cash, the magic, right? And when it doesn't, you get mad at the machine. You blame the algorithm. You say, oh, Facebook is dead. Nobody sees my stuff anymore. But let me ask you this, and be honest. Call yourself out in the comments right now, if you're willing to. Who here is guilty of the post and ghost? Do you know what a post and ghost is? You drop a link to your product, your service, or your opportunity, and then you literally close the app and run away, just crossing your fingers that someone throws their credit card at you, or comments on your post. You literally put a post up, whatever it is, and you just think it's going to happen, right? But you run away. Post and ghost. Put a guilty in the chat if you've done that before. We've probably all been there, done that. I've probably done it. It's normal, guys. Most people are doing this. It's crazy. But guys, think about how crazy that is in the real world. Can you imagine? It would be like walking into a massive tailgate at, let's say, a Broncos game. I'm a Broncos fan. Pick your favorite sports team. But you walk into a massive tailgate and you're totally ignoring everyone having a good time, grabbing a hot dog, and you're going up to people screaming at them, hey, buy my stuff. You're like literally pitching them right at the right in their face, at the top of your lungs. And then you're sprinting back to your car. You don't even stop to have a conversation with them. People are not going to buy from you. They're going to look at you like you've lost your mind. That's crazy. What is this person doing? Get away from me, right? You know, they're pitch slapping you. So here's the thing. I want you guys to understand, Facebook is not an advertising sheet. It's not your personal billboard. It's a living, breathing network of actual real human beings. Anybody who's watching this live stream on Facebook right now, you're a real human being, right? There's real people on Facebook. The value of this platform is not in the attention you can extract from people. It's in the relationship capital that you can build with them. Keywords, relationship capital. And so today, what I'm really going to pull back the curtain on is I'm going to show you exactly why your current spray and pray strategy is literally suffocating your business. more importantly, I'm going to dive deeper into the exact blueprint to fix it so you never have to chase a lead on this platform ever again. So if you're ready for that, type a ready in the comments right now, and let's get over to slide 2 here and go a little deeper on this. So here's the thing, it's a massive trap. 99% of people are falling straight into this. I call it the posting versus connecting. You're not connecting, you're posting, right? So for years, the industry gurus, they train you to believe that success online is all about the sheer volume. They tell you to post more content, to record more videos, chase more views, and basically just broadcast louder than everyone else. That's what they're teaching you. But I want to do a quick gut check here. Drop a 2 in the chat if you've ever spent 45 minutes staring at a blinking cursor, stressing over crafting the perfect post, only to hit publish and you literally get like 1 or 2 likes, and one's from your aunt or your mom. And maybe you tried to do a reel video and you tried to record it and you've literally recorded it 17 times and then you didn't even send it, right? So here's the thing. That's a reality. A lot of people are struggling with what to even say. We've all been there. But here's the truth bomb that really changes everything. Visibility alone does not create relationships. Like, listen to that twice. Visibility alone does not create relationships. Interaction does. Interaction creates relationships. So if you're taking notes, write this next sentence down and highlight it. Posting puts content into the world, but engagement puts you into people's worlds. Listen to that again, and listen very closely. Posting puts content into the world, but engagement puts you into people's world. So when you post, it's totally passive, right? And then all of a sudden I go shred a solo or something like that to the brick wall. I'm not even looking at the people, and then walking off the stage without ever even making eye contact. So posting simply says, look at me. That's it. Look at me, look at me, look at me, right? Everybody wants everyone to look at them, right? If we're connection, that says I see you, right? I see you, I hear you, you exist. I'm looking at you. And guys, in today's digital environment, people are absolutely starving to feel seen, right? Because that if you're a leader in a direct sales company, it's very hard to duplicate being an influencer. So you say all these things and you teach all these people to go do things, but like they don't have the audience you have. They need to be seen. But here's the thing, I'm going back to this engagement. Most people are using social media like it's a giant billboard, right? But very few actually use it like a relationship eco. It's me, me, me. You've ever heard of the me monster? Good old Brian Regan. Me. So you have to ask yourself, guys, are you trying to build an audience or are you trying to build relationships? Because audience building creates spectators, passive viewers, temporary vanity metrics, but relationships actually build and creates trust, loyalty, familiarity, and long-term opportunity, right? So when you consistently encourage others, to participate in their conversations and leave thoughtful comments, you create what we call digital proximity. Catch that one. Yeah, hear that one twice. When you participate in others' conversations and encourage others and leave thoughtful comments, you're doing what we call you're creating digital proximity. You're starting to occupy the mental real estate in their world. And when you have that familiarity, conversion resistance drops entirely because the relationship often actually forms long before a direct opportunity is ever introduced. All right. So if you're tracking with me, I hope you're picking up on what I'm laying down. But if you're tracking with me and you're ready to stop treating Facebook like a big giant billboard, me, and stop broadcasting and start connecting, type the word connect in the comments. I really want to make sure that we're picking this up. We're going to move on to the next piece here. So we got to get this momentum rolling. We're talking about algorithmic reality. Okay, this is a reality you probably haven't heard of before, but I have my own little term here, and I call this social media hygiene. Do you guys take showers? Do you guys wash your hands? That's a form of hygiene, right? We're going to talk about social media hygiene. Let's do another quick little poll in the chat if you're tuning in. Who here has ever shaken their fist at the sky and blamed the algorithm when a post completely tanked? You're like, what the heck? This algorithm's so dumb. My post was so good, it got no loves. Drop a me in the comments if you've been there. I've been there. I've been like, this is crazy. It almost makes you frustrated. It almost makes you want to leave the platform, right? I know you've done it. We've all sat there thinking, Mark Zuckerberg, it's your fault. Personally, he personally pushed a button to hide our post, right? But I need you to hear this. So the algorithm doesn't hate you. It's just tracking your behavior, okay? It's paying attention to your behavior. So check this out. This is a massive shift you have to understand. Social platforms are not only evaluating what you post, they're actually evaluating how you socially interact, how your behavior appears, right? So the algorithm is constantly measuring your relationship patterns and your behavioral signs as much as the content itself. So think about how this all lands. If I stand in the backyard and completely ignore my little dog Moose, that's his name. His name's Moose. He's his little miniature Aussie. You know, if he drops the tennis ball at my foot, eventually he's going to stop bringing me the ball if I don't throw it, right? Facebook actually works a lot like that. So if you're constantly, publishing content but rarely reply to the comments, and you're ignoring discussions and you never engage with others, and you're training the platform to see you as a dead end. Think about that for a second. You're training the platform to see you as a dead end. So from the algorithm's perspective, this creates a one-way broadcasting pattern. You're all one way. It's not two-way street. You're starting to look like you're just there to extract attention. Facebook doesn't like that. That's very spammy. And this is exactly why accounts slowly begin to feel spammy and more spammy, and they lose their visibility. You're getting dirtier and dirtier. That's very, very bad social media hygiene. Even if your content that you're posting is incredibly high quality, that's the part that can seem frustrating, right? You're like, man, well, Facebook's entire business model, guys, it depends on keeping people on the platform, right? So which means they are heavily incentivized to reward meaningful interaction and community activity. So if you're not providing any meaningful social interaction or any community activity, you're very low value to the platform. So how do we fix that, right? We gotta scrub our social hygiene. So, when you consistently reply to comments, ask questions, acknowledge responses, and you really start to participate in a back and forth type of discussion, you're actually feeding the platform exactly what it wants. You're providing evidence that a real interaction is occurring and that you're actually contributing to the community. And guys, when I talk about Engager, the AI, we are doing 20 to 30 outbound engagements per day where we're making a comment on someone else's post. We're just initiating activity. Facebook loves that. That's a meaningful social interaction. A lot of you, we don't have typically the time to go out there and spend 2 or 3 hours to make a comment on someone's post because we've got to read it. We've got to figure out what we want to say. So we use Engage or AI to do that. Now, the thing that's so important, if you pick up anything from what I'm saying, this two-way conversational behavior is really what creates algorithmic trust. See, the algorithm sees that you are keeping people engaged longer, and in return, it's going to boost your distribution quality and visibility. Who here would like for their post to get more distribution, right? You're going to get more quality and visibility, but you're not going to get what you don't give. So I want you to understand that the comment section under someone's post or your post, it's not an afterthought, you guys. It is the active part of the content experience. It's very, very important. And so if you're ready to stop just being the broadcaster, the hey, look at me monster, you want to start behaving more like a community member to get that algorithm on your side. If you guys are with me on that, good luck spelling it, but type the word hygiene in the chat. I'm going to move on to the next concept here. And that is all about attention. And so, guys, I hope you guys are getting some value from this so far. If you're having some light bulb moments, maybe drop me some fire emojis or some light bulbs in the chat. It's always a lot of fun, but I really want to make sure we keep the energy here, because this is where we really start talking about the real currency of this platform we call Facebook. It's true on all the other platforms, but this is the real currency. Let's talk about, I have this term, let's talk about the law of relationship capital. Okay. So I want to give you an analogy that's going to probably make this a lot more clear. I mean, so relationships, I've said this before, they function exactly like a bank account. So let's say I walk into my local bank down here in Littleton, Colorado, and I walk up to the teller and I open a brand new checking account with exactly $0 in it, and then immediately demand a $10,000 cash withdrawal. What are they going to do? They're going to be like, they're going to laugh at you and be like, you're serious, right? They're just going to laugh at you. But guys, I know that sounds kind of ridiculous. This is exactly what people are doing on social media every single day. There's probably somebody hearing this is very, very guilty of this. I don't know if you're letting this land, but most people, they attempt to have the withdrawals before they ever make a deposit, right? They're pitching before connecting. They're asking before contributing. And they try to sell before building even an ounce of trust. In financial terms, they're literally trying to make a massive withdrawal from accounts that they completely forgot to fund. So it's not going to work very well, you guys. So when you drop a cold direct message on a complete stranger with a link to your calendar or to your offer, or you're immediately talking about your product, that is a withdrawal. You ask someone to buy your product before you've even said hello or really leaned into them, that's a total massive withdrawal. And that is exactly why the cold outreach feels completely ineffective. It's not necessarily because your product is bad. You could have the greatest product on the planet. You might have the best offer on the planet, but because there is zero relationship equity supporting that interaction, right? And healthy relationships, they really they require consistent deposits, not just one deposit, consistent deposits. And how do we make deposits online? Oh, I've got some tricks for you. You guys know, if you're using my engagement technology, but you got to do it through attention, through genuine encouragement, through consistency, through support, and meaningful interaction, right? So every single interaction you have either does one of two things. It either strengthens your relational equity or it weakens it, right? So if we go to take a deposit right out the gate, you're weakening that potential relationship. If we go in and add some equity in there, that could be a simple comment on someone's post. We do that 20 to 30 times here at Engager Pro. We use technology that makes it as easy as clicking a button. But here's the deal. Just like financial wealth works through consistent deposits over time, Relationship capital grows through repeated positive engagement. So when you consistently show up in someone's world and make them feel seen, what happens is trust compounds, right? Familiarity compounds and goodwill compounds. So what happens is people are far more receptive to those who have consistently shown up in their world before asking for anything. Now, when you build that emotional equity first, you don't even have to sell them in the traditional sense. A lot of the times it's they're already asking for you. They're like they're leaning into you. So what happens is the opportunity emerges organically because the relationship itself is being nurtured and it becomes the infrastructure that supports it. So if you guys aren't using Engager Pro and you're not doing your 20 to 30 outbound comments every day, my question for you is, what is your plan? What is your game plan to engage with 20 or 30 people every single day? And I mean a meaningful social engagement, not just a quick like and great post. That's pretty low key. That's not very strong. So I would like to know who out there really is going to commit to making deposits before you ever try to make another withdrawal. Type the word deposit in the chat. Um, it's a very big deal, guys. It's true offline too. That's the other thing that's so important is it's true offline too. You have relationship bank accounts. So I'm going to go into the next slide here. Everyone, you guys can take a breath. Yeah, shake it out, whatever, lean in, because on this next topic, we're going to really separate the amateurs from the pros. This is where everything really gets separated. We're talking about conversational architecture. I know that's a mouthful. Conversational architecture. So I want to ask everyone a question. Have you ever gone to, let's say, a networking event, or I don't know, maybe even just a barbecue, and you say something to somebody, right? And they reply with cool or nice, and then it's dead silence, right? Cool, nice. That's awkward, right? That's awkward. You're like, oh, okay, right. So if you know what I'm talking about, put an awkward in the comments. But here's the thing. You're probably doing the exact same thing to people on Facebook every single day without even realizing it. And people don't realize that they're accidentally killing their social interactions because they speak entirely from a self-contained perspective. Self-contained statements. They drop opinions, they drop announcements, or they do information dumps that leave zero psychological space for participation. You'll see a post and you comment, great post, looks awesome. Guys, there's no tension there. There's no curiosity gap. A statement is just a period on the end. It ends the energy, but a question ends the energy. So I want you to listen very carefully. We're talking about questions. If you really want to win, you have to start using open loops, right? Open loops are everything. So human psychology is deeply wired to seek closure, right? I've talked about this before. People feel psychologically pulled toward unfinished mental patterns. So when you leave a curiosity gap or you wrap a thought inside an invitation question. I'm getting some background noise there. I don't know if it's the gardening. um, when you leave a curiosity gap or wrap a thought inside an invitation-based question, you're going to create an itch. This is an itch that the other person naturally wants to scratch. The brain absolutely dislikes unresolved tension. That's why we've trained our engager, the AI, to oftentimes leave an open loop or a question at the end of our comment, because what that does is it leaves that open opportunity. It creates the itch. So I mean, this is all about architecture. How do we build it? We want to do everything we can to end our comments with some sort of thoughtful question for expansion. End our comments with an open loop that gives the other person an opportunity to respond, right? So instead of just typing something on someone's post like great post and scrolling away, you shift the architecture. You want to say something like great post. What do you think the biggest mistake people are making when they're trying this? get them to expand. That's inviting the poster or the people to tune into that, right? So can you guys feel the difference there? It's now the original poster actually has a mental prompt and a real reason to reply. Sometimes they will, and most of the time they will. Sometimes they won't, but they're going to feel mentally involved, acknowledged, and also invited into a dialogue. You're actually putting yourself further into their mental space when it comes to engagement. And by the way, Facebook loves the two-way conversations. You're getting a lot of value from that. So this is really how you create what I would call conversation momentum. And a lot of times you see these posts that are going viral and they can turn into these massive reply chains. If you can get people to continue to respond and you have that nature, it's going to help your post get more and more visibility. And remember, what we just talked about previously on that last slide is algorithms heavily reward those reply chains, right? And ongoing interactions. So, but more importantly, humans reward interaction that feels relational instead of transactional. You guys see what I'm saying? Humans, the way that we work, we're going to reward interaction that feels like it's relational. A lot of interactions on Facebook can be very transactional. So when you master the open loop, you're going to stop broadcasting. You're going to start architecting conversations that people actually want to continue. And guys, this works out in the real world. Ask questions, become curious, become very, very curious in other people. And, people that are interested become interesting. It's a very, very good quality to be a great listener. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. I call it active listening. So asking questions is a skill that a lot of folks need a lot of help. So, I mean, if you guys are feeling me here, I want you to type the word loop in the comments. We want to leave open loops. That is the whole deal. It creates that itch that they have to scratch. I'm going to move on to this next one here.
So, Emo, are you saying that like instead of saying great post, you say great post and like how it affected you?
No, we want to ask a question. Maybe ask them to expand further on it. Be like, wow, that was an awesome post. What do you think about XYZ? Or, just create an open loop to where someone needs to expand. You know what I mean? It's an expansion open loop, right? You're welcome. Yeah. So going into this next, it's a great question, by the way. So now you know the secret. Here's the deal. Be a good human. Use open loops. We want to make daily relational. I got to mute somebody there in the background. 1 second. I don't know where that comes from. I got you. So the idea is we want to be a good human. We want to use open loops. We want to make daily relational deposits, and we want to architect real conversations, right? It all sounds good in theory, right? It all sounds good. But this is exactly where the wheels fall off the wagon for probably 99% of you. We're about to run, face first into a brutal, undeniable wall that I like to call the human bottleneck. The human bottleneck. Let's be real for a second. How much time do you honestly spend mindlessly doom scrolling on Facebook every day? Don't lie to me. Drop an honest estimate, whether you say it to yourself, put it in the chat, of your screen time in the comments right now. Like some of us here don't do it at all. Some of us do it a lot. Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? Is it 4 hours? Sometimes we're literally burning away the day. And here's the truth. To actually scale your visibility and actually break through the noise and compound your relationship capital, you have to follow what we call the 20 to 30 rule. I've been saying it throughout this, but I really want to hit it hard here. The 20 to 30 rule is the key principle. That means generating 20 to 30 deeply meaningful, context-aware engagements every single day, 365 days out of the year. Can you follow that rule? Because here's the thing, consistency beats intensity every single time. Going hard for 3 days and then disappearing for a month does literally nothing. It's like going to the gym for a few days and be like, man, that was hard. And then you just, you don't go for a couple months. It does nothing for your trust or your bank account.
Can you
So
repeat that after 20 to 30?
yeah. So the idea here is it's all about the 20 to 30 rule. And that means generating 20 to 30 deeply meaningful, context-aware engagements every single day, 365 days out of the year. I know that's a tall order here because the reality is this consistency is everything. Reality is consistency always beats intensity. You could go be super intense for 3 days or a week or 2 weeks and then just quit for a month or two. It's not going to work. It does nothing. So let's do some math real quick. I'll do it for you, but let's do some math on what the 20 to 30 rule actually requires if you try to do it manually. By the way, I have done this manually, and it's a lot of work. The good news is we have a tool for this, but imagine this, 20 to 30 of those engagements. So you got to open your news feed, right? You got to open up your feed on Facebook, read someone's entire post. In many cases, it could be several paragraphs. Sometimes you see long posts. You got to read the entire post, and then you need to scan the existing comment section so you don't sound like an echo. You really want to get the context. Then you need to analyze the emotional context of everything going on. And then you need to write a highly personalized comment with a perfect open loop. Some of us would struggle at that. Most of us would be like to do it to the degree I'm saying. It would, if you can do it, it could easily take you 5 to 7 minutes per person if you're doing it right. I'm not talking about a nice post thing, but to actually do it in the way that I'm saying. Multiply that by 30 people. You're looking at 2.5 to 3 hours of manual, uninterrupted, exhausting scrolling and typing every single day. Sure, you could try to use some AI. We have some technology that's as easy as clicking a button once a day, but to do this manually, it would be really hard. And if you're a business owner and an entrepreneur or a sales professional, your time is literally your most valuable asset, right? Your time should be worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars an hour. You absolutely cannot afford to spend 3 hours a day playing copywriter in the Facebook comment section, but we need it, right? So what happens? I'll tell you exactly what happens. You get busy, maybe you've got kids, your kids need you, a client calls you, a friend happens, and you end up chatting for an hour. Life happens. So your consistency breaks down. You go cold for a week, and all of that relationship momentum you just built completely resets to zero. You slip right back into the default state of digital life, absolute invisibility. Most of the people hearing what I'm saying right now, unless you're using Engager and you've been doing this consistently for a little while, you literally are in a state of digital life of absolute invisibility. And that is why your posts are not being seen by a lot of people. That's why your business is not growing. A highly motivated person, they might manually manage 3 to 5 thoughtful comments a day before they get burned out. And that's maybe what, 1,200 touch points a year? That's pretty good. But to get 9,000 touch points, 9,000 touch points, doing this consistently at scale is mathematically, humanly impossibility. Okay. So if you've ever started strong on social media and burnt out a week later because it just took too much time, put the word bottleneck in the chat. It's just people they don't have the discipline. They don't do it. And you go look in some of these direct selling companies or these places where people going, man, how come your business isn't growing? You have the greatest product on the planet and you've only signed up 2 people in the last 6 months. What's going on? Leaders are wondering why their teams are literally shrinking. A lot of in the direct sales space, you have such high attrition. The bucket's leaking about as fast as you're filling it. It's pretty tough. I mean, leaders know what I'm talking about. Companies know what I'm talking about. You got a bottleneck problem and people aren't willing to, they want some sort of outcome, but they're not willing to do what it takes. That's really tough. The one thing I will tell you is if you can do this, press a button once a day with the most finely tuned AI, you're going to be able to at least have 20 to 30 outbound meaningful engagements every single day. And that right there, being that it's mathematically humanly impossible, you're going to get mathematically human impossible results, stuff that's not even fair to the people that are not doing it. But guess what? We don't care about fair. That's not how this works. So here's the thing. I want to move on to my last slide. I know we're getting kind of close to this, but slide 7 here. Here's the deal. So, if you're understanding the bottleneck thing, you're feeling that, I want you to lean in right now, because this is exactly why we built Engager Pro. That's exactly why we do what we do here. And that's exactly why I have people that are on this call that I absolutely love hanging out with, because they get it. People that understand, I don't have an extra spare 3 hours a day to sit on my phone, or and I know you don't either, right? This is the thing, between like some of the stuff, I have a lot of different things. I have a lot of irons in the fire, and I know you guys have a lot of irons in the fire. For me, it's between doing producing with Limitless, where the creators of Think and Grow Rich the movie over there, and running this software company, and spending time with my wife and my kids and my dogs, and having a life, turning our house into an absolute circus. My time is completely tapped, you guys. I don't know if you can relate to that, but life is busy. And if you rely on raw willpower to manually execute your social strategy, I can promise you your consistency is going to fail every single time. That's the rule. Generally speaking, the exception might be a small percentage of you, but that's exactly why Engager Pro is no longer just a nice to have. It's the mandatory operational infrastructure you need to win on Facebook. If you don't want to win on Facebook, cool. Just don't do that. Like, it's going to be a tough ride. You're probably in that non-existent Facebook boneyard I talk about. And I want to be very clear about what this is not. This is not a spam bot. It's not a generic script that drops thumbs up emojis and great posts, bro. On a tragic life update. We've all seen those, and they're absolutely embarrassing. Engager Pro it's an intelligence layer that operates directly inside your Facebook newsfeed. It acts as your personal digital wingman, right? And at its core, the concept is incredibly simple, and everybody who's using this knows what I'm talking about. It's as easy as pressing a single button, right? And then you get to check the box on that consistent daily engagement automatically. I have people that are in their 80s checking that box every single day. I have one gentleman who is a veteran, in his 80s. He's done over 2,500 engagements since I started working with him. Guys, this is probably more than most people listening to this message, especially if you're on Facebook Live, or you didn't come to everybody that came to this call live that's here with me, they're already using Engager, right? And they already know how it works. So when you activate it, and when it goes to work for you, what happens is the Engager reads the entire post. It doesn't matter if it's an entire page long of words and they're very complex, and no matter what it is, it analyzes all the comments under that post to fully understand the tone and the context, right? So it can really understand what's going on. And then what it does is it leaves the most appropriate reaction. It tags the original poster, and then it uses our advanced AI prompting, which is fully customizable to anybody's personality. We've really dialed it in to make it extremely effective and capable of navigating almost any kind of post on Facebook. And what it does is it'll leave a thoughtful, highly personal comment on the post, which is just absolutely amazing. And the thing that's fun about it is it'll also include an open loop question to spark a real reply. That is a huge deal. It doesn't always do it, but it does when it makes sense, and that's often most of the time. So it does all of this while sounding exactly like you. You get to set the tone, you get to set the strategy, the pacing, And I want to make it really clear. I know a lot of people are funny about AI. They're like, oh, there's all this AI slop online and all this stuff. AI should actually amplify your humanity, not hide it. We're not here to hide. We're here to connect with more people. That's why I talk a lot about relationship equity and connecting with people so you can build deeper relationships. So this isn't meant to replace you. Engager Pro does not pretend to be you. It acts as a conversational catalyst. And what it does is it opens the door, and it really handles that heavy lifting of initiating contact, right? So you can step in for just 15 minutes a day to maybe handle those warm human replies. Once people are starting to engage back with you, you can now go into book the call or hop on a phone call or close the deal. If you're not doing these engagements, it's not going to go anywhere. So I really want you to think about the compounding reality here, guys. A single user running Engager Pro generates 20 to 30 intelligent, context-rich engagements every single day. So that scales to roughly 750 interactions a month and over 9,000 thoughtful touch points per year. You are literally industrializing trust. You are dominating the mental real estate in your network and becoming the most familiar, attentive presence in their feed, all while you are out living your life. Or maybe like Paul right now, he's making $75 an hour while he's working in the dirt. He can run his Engager. So if you want to stop, pushing this massive 5,000-pound boulder up the hill, and if you want to stop acting like a manual content machine and start engineering what I call unstoppable relational momentum, you need this infrastructure in your business right now. Got to have it. And so for anybody who's ready to get off the hamster wheel, I already got people that are here with me right now. They're off the hamster wheel. But if you're hearing this and you're ready to get off the hamster wheel and you want to see this beast in action, you can drop the word sauce or whatever you want, special sauce, in the comments. And I will personally send you the exact blueprint and access to how you can start experiencing Engager Pro. This is just something, now that I've been using it for almost 2 years now, I've had so many experiences happen. My social sphere of influence has expanded beyond anything I could have ever expected, more than any other time in my life. And I've connected with people that have otherwise been impossible to connect with. My Engager made a comment on someone I would have never, A, saw the post, B, left the comment, C, it led to an interaction, which D, led to a relationship. I can now call that person friend. I can now call that person business partner. This happens for me all of the time. And that is why I'm so passionate about wanting it to happen for you. I don't remember who it was that said it, but if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And I really want you to have what it is you want. So what do you want? More leads, more customers, more connections? Maybe you're looking for the love of your life. You can use Engager Pro to connect with anybody. And you guys will see in other trainings that I do. I teach you how to curate your news feed so that more people are coming into your news feed that will fit your ideal type of connection. Facebook is a giant, massive blue ocean, you guys. There is over 2 billion, with a B, daily active users logging into Facebook every single day. Over 70% of Facebook people in America are on Facebook. There is literally no excuse for people to run out of opportunity. So what will happen when you start doing this is your sphere of opportunity will continue to expand and grow. And there's a compounding effect that you will only get to experience if you do what I'm saying here consistently. I dare you to do it for 90 days. I double dog dare you to do it for 6 months. I triple dog dare you to do it for a whole year. And it's unbelievable, especially if you come to Facebook with an expectant perspective that I'm going to connect with exactly who I need to connect with. There's going to be all of these new connections that are going to almost feel serendipitous. But the reality is we're engineering this, you guys. And as you continue to come to these trainings, this is just one training. There's like 15 other philosophies that all tie together and weave together with what I'm explaining with Engager Pro. This is not just a piece of software. This is something that allows you to extend your human nature so that you can connect with more people. And that is a wonderful thing. We're going to flip the script inside of Facebook like never before, because right now there's so much noise in Facebook, especially with AI. People are posting all kinds of AI slop. We've got AI avatars. I think people are starting to distrust what people are posting. They want this message that I'm sharing with you right now so bad. We're going to break up all that static, and we're going to give people signal, and they're going to want to work with you when you have this message. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream.